Here are the ladies of season 25 of The Bachelor with Matt James.
Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. As you know, we are just a few days away from the new Bachelor season with Matt James. I'm super excited for this season. It looks like there's going to be plenty of drama per usual. In order to fully prep for the season, I decided to do some investigating into the Bachelor contestants this season. And by investigating, I mean finding their LinkedIn accounts so we can learn a little bit beyond what we have on Instagram.
Historic season, Bachelor 25, 32 women. Let's get to it.
So first up, we have Abigail. She is clearly very smart. She has some super impressive job titles here, things like investment analyst, senior investment analyst, real estate valuations analyst. I have to say that is really cool to see this sort of experience. And if you remember, Matt James also has experience in the real estate industry. So maybe that's something that they can talk about. Next, we have Illeana. She is a photographer whose hometown is Toronto, but she notes on both her LinkedIn and Instagram that she also spends time in Texas. The interesting piece here is that she recently founded what I'm guessing is her own photography or design company, and prior to that, she worked for what looks to be someone in her family's company called Milne Studio in Canada, which is her last name. So it looks like it's an acting agency in Canada, and you can see here it looks like there's someone else from her family that is higher up at that company. I think it'd be super interesting if she makes it far enough to hometowns to hear about what it's like doing business with your family and what those relationships are like. Next up, we have Alicia, and I'm going to be honest, her LinkedIn profile does not give her enough credit. She is a professional ballerina, which is super cool. I actually want to bring up her bio from her current company's studio to give her a bit more credit. It's super cool that she has made a career out of her passion for dance. Next up, we have Amber, and unfortunately, she does not have a LinkedIn. However, from her bio on the Bachelor site, we do know that she is a nursing student and is also a single mother to a 13-year-old son. So I'm sure that keeps her very, very busy. So hopefully we can learn a little bit more about her once this season starts. Next up, we have Anna. She is a copywriter in Chicago. I actually think this is super cool, though. If you look at her different roles she's had, she lists out the clients. So it's places like Cracker Barrel, Coca-Cola, Smartwater. Those are really neat clients to work with. And she also does have her own website where you can see what some of that client work was like. I particularly love this Love Harder image for Coca-Cola. It goes well with the Bachelor message. This other one is super neat. Welcome to your shower is kind of amazing when you think about the inevitable Bachelor shower scenes that we will get with Matt James this season. So next up we have Bri, and she is unfortunately another one without LinkedIn. We know that she is a communications manager from her bio on the Bachelor site, and it also sounds like she works for a high-profile social media company. So it's definitely intriguing. I'm surprised she's not on LinkedIn. Would love to see her account in the future. Our next contestant is Carolyn, who is a journalist. From her LinkedIn bio, it looks like she has expertise and experience in a variety of different journalism styles. Some of her coolest roles are when she was doing album and concert reviewing. I think those sound like really neat experiences. So next up we have Casandra, and I just have to say this really warms my heart what she's doing. She is gorgeous even in her professional LinkedIn profile picture, and the work she's doing is really important. It looks like she finished her grad studies to get a Master of Social Work from USC, which is a really impressive school, and I think it's just super neat to have someone in these roles where she's working with people who are really in need. And I actually haven't read Bennett's emotional intelligence book from Tayshia's season, but it does seem like Casandra would have a lot of emotional intelligence given her work in this field. So next up is Chelsea. She is a runway model and also does not have a LinkedIn account. If you pull up her Instagram, though, she does have a whole set of stories with her modeling, including with places like Vogue. That is pretty neat to see, and it's definitely a new realm of modeling. I don't think we've seen someone that's an actual runway model on the show yet. So next up is Corrinne. She has a lot to live up to with her name, but like the well-known Corrinne, this one also seems to work for her family. You can see here on her profile, she talks about working hand in hand with her family to launch a business off the ground. I'm not totally sure, though, what her actual role is right now because she does have both a marketing manager, and an intern listed as present on her LinkedIn. And she literally did just graduate in 2020, so she will likely be one of the younger girls on this season. So then we have Emani. She is a realtor in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Looks like she also graduated from the University of New Mexico. She does have DC listed as her location here, but everything else, including her Bachelor profile, is connected to New Mexico. So I'm curious what the connection is to DC. Maybe she has made the move since filming the show. Who knows? Next we have Illeana. Her Bachelor profile says she is a health food developer for a product specifically called Funky Monkey Energy. This isn't actually listed on her LinkedIn, but it does look like Funky Monkey does have an Instagram account that was launched fairly recently in October of 2020. And we can see her in the photo here. But if you do go to Illeana's LinkedIn, she doubles as a real estate agent and a model. So it seems like she's living the New York City dream, which could go pretty well with Matt's current lifestyle since he also lives in New York. Next up, we have Jesenia. She is a social media marketing manager. Lots of social media marketers on this season. It looks like she's spent a good amount of time in San Antonio. That's where she went to school, and that's also where she's currently working. And actually, it seems like she might even be working off on her own as a sole proprietor now, so that's awesome if that's the case, that she is an entrepreneur and doing her own thing. So next up, we have Kaili. She's another one who doesn't have a LinkedIn account, but from her Bachelor profile, we know that she is a hostess. If we go through her Instagram, it looks like she spent a chunk of time working in Vegas at different clubs there. So I'm curious what inspired the move to Chicago, which is the location listed under her Bachelor profile. But then again, she does have Vegas listed as her location on her Instagram account. So maybe she's moved back, or maybe she was just back in Illinois due to the virus. Who knows what the situation is there. Okay, so next we have Katie. She is a bank marketing manager. Unfortunately, she also does not have a LinkedIn account. However, she is a TikTok star, and if you look at her TikTok, she has over 240,000 followers, which is pretty impressive. It looks like she does a lot of comedy sorts of things on this account, so I'd be eager to see if she's actually as funny as her TikTok. Next up, we have Khaylah from Durham, North Carolina. She is a healthcare advocate according to her bio, and specifically, it looks like she works for Blue Cross North Carolina. And I really admire her for advocating in the healthcare space. That's definitely something we need more of. And it looks like she has both her bachelor's and master's from UNC, which is really impressive. So go Khaylah. I'm excited to see more of her on Matt's season. So Kimberly is next. She's an airline recruiter, specifically for Alaska Airlines. In normal times when there's more traveling, I would guess that's a pretty sweet setup where you're likely getting a lot of free standby flights. It looks like she's worked in the recruiting and talent acquisition space for a while, so I bet she could give some of these other girls a lot of tips if they don't have a LinkedIn so that we can do a little bit more stalking on the back end before the season starts. Next is Kit. She is a fashion entrepreneur from New York. She is another one who doesn't have a LinkedIn, but maybe that is okay because I think she's already pretty well known because of her mom. And for those who don't know, her mom is Cynthia Rowley, who is a fashion designer. And Kit and her mom, Cynthia, actually have a podcast together called Ageless. Next up, we've got Kristin. And from a career perspective, she is just super impressive. Kristin is an attorney in New York and also spent time as a judicial law clerk for a New Jersey court. She also is published in the Harvard Journal of Sports and Entertainment Law, and let's just read this title because it sounds very, very impressive. There's no business like show business, abandoning colorblind casting and embracing color-conscious casting in American theater. Honestly, this is super cool. I'm really excited for Kristin. I think she will be a really mature and neat perspective on the show. And actually, Kristin is not our only attorney. We also have Lauren, who is a corporate attorney in Miami. She went to school at UNC for undergrad and University of Miami for law school, which is really impressive as well. It looks like when she was at Miami, she was the online managing editor for the Race and Social Justice Law Review. I think it's super awesome for the show to have representation of women in color in these amazing careers. Next up, we have Maggie. Her LinkedIn is honestly not that cool or informative, but we do know she's both a pharmacist and a model. If you look on her LinkedIn, we can see where she graduated from pharmacy school in 2019. And then if you go back to her Instagram, we can actually see she had this cool cake with fake pills on it for being a pharmacist when she graduated. Her Instagram also, of course, has some of her modeling pictures, so you can get a feel for both of her professions that she has. So next up is Mari, who is a marketing director for Maryland Plastic Surgery and Pure Med Spa. It looks like prior to that, she was also in the beauty space working at a place called Lash Moi or Lash Moi. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I think those jobs would be super cool if you're getting free or reduced prices on those appointments. I would certainly be interested. One other fun fact about Mari is that she speaks 3 different languages besides English, I'm assuming, and it'll be interesting to see if she incorporates any of that on the show at all. So unfortunately, our next 2 we also don't know that much about because they don't have LinkedIns. First is Marylynn. She is an event coordinator in California. We'll see what else we can learn about her on this season, but for now, of course, we just have the classic Instagram that we can look at in advance. And then we also have MJ without a LinkedIn account. She is a hairstylist from Hudson, Ohio. She does have a Hair by MJ Instagram account where you can see a lot of her works. So Pieper is next. She is listed as a grad student, but on LinkedIn, she is actively seeking career advancement opportunities in the field of marketing. So that's great. She's getting out there. It looks like she will graduate in 2021 from her master's program at DePaul in Chicago. And next up we have Rachael. Unfortunately, she also does not have a LinkedIn, but apparently Rachael is a graphic designer. When I'm looking at her Instagram, I can't find anything that seems super work related, but hopefully we learn more over this season. And then next we have Saneh, who seems to be quite the overachiever. She is currently a recruiter for a company out of Denver. And prior to that, she got both her master's and undergrad degrees from the University of Florida. And when she was at Florida, it seemed like she was super involved there. She was a teaching assistant, group fitness instructor, student government. The list just keeps going on. Next, we have Sarah, and she has broadcast journalist listed as her job title for the show. And she's done a ton of reporting and anchoring in cities really all across the U.S., from D.C. to California to Missouri. She has been in a ton of different cities. Next, we have Serena C, and she is a flight attendant. I know flight attendants didn't get much love on Peter's season, but who knows what's in store. Maybe Serena C can make it a little longer than some of the flight attendants lasted on Peter's season. So next is Serena P, and she has the job title publicist on her Bachelor bio, which might be a little bit of a stretch, but that seemed to be the direction her career was going in, at least pre-Bachelor. According to her LinkedIn, her last and current role was with McIntyre Communications, where she was an intern. And she did have a lot of work experience prior to that, including things like a brand ambassador, which maybe she'll be doing more of that on Instagram after the show. Next, we have Sydney. She is a marketing specialist in Nashville, Tennessee. If you look at her LinkedIn, she honestly must be a pretty busy girl. She's doing a lot at her job, from content creation to social media to email marketing, and it looks like she just got a promotion last year as well. So go Sydney. I'm excited to see what she is like on the show. And last but certainly not least, we have Victoria. Her Bachelor job title is Queen, but if you look on LinkedIn, it's a little bit different. She seems to be more of an entrepreneur. Victoria is a real estate agent, owns a mobile spray tanning service in LA, and also takes on clients in the self-care and wellness product space. So that's all of our contestants. I hope this was as fun for you as it was for me. I love getting a little bit more of the backstory on these contestants. If you like this, please make sure to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I like to think of it as similar to giving me a rose for another week. And of course, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know the next time I post a video. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and see you next time.